magical little pillows.
Superboy, the son of Superman. Do you know who Superman is? Even if you don't, your mom and dad definitely do. Superman wasn't born on Earth. He comes from a planet called Krypton, which no longer exists because it was destroyed. Before Krypton was gone, Superman's parents saw that their planet was doomed. There was no time to save everyone, so they did the only thing they could. They put their baby into a spaceship and launched. The ship with the baby flew into space just before Krypton is destroyed. The little spaceship travels through space and lands safely on Earth. The baby was found and adopted by a farming family. They named him Clark Kent and raised him with strong moral values. His new parents kept his secret, knowing it was the best way to protect him from curious scientists, journalists, and other dangers. They named him Clark Kent and raised him with strong moral values. As Clark grew up, he started to show incredible superpowers. He learned to use these abilities to help others and protect humanity. When he needs to, he transforms into Superman, a mighty hero with super strength, speed, and the ability to fly. Superman lives in the city of Metropolis. To most people, he's just Clark Kent, a regular, sometimes boring journalist working for the Daily Planet newspaper. But when trouble arises, Clark becomes Superman, a muscular hero dressed in a special blue suit with a red cape and a symbol on his chest, a yellow and red shield with the letter S inside. Superman is a guardian for those who can't protect themselves, a fighter for justice, and a hero who fights against evil and crime. When villains try to cause chaos, Superman is there to stop them and save the day. After saving the city from a big disaster, Superman decides to continue living among people as an ordinary man, always ready to help when needed. He keeps his true identity a secret and goes back to his daily life. But he also shares his true self with Lois Lane, a brave and smart journalist at the Daily Planet. Lois is courageous, clever, and strong. She often finds herself in exciting adventures and dangerous situations alongside Superman. They fall in love and become a family. They have a son named Christian, and it's Christian's story that we tell in our adventures. Does Christian have superpowers too? You'll find out soon. How it all began. Watch until the end, because there is an offer for you there. Superman, known as Clark Kent, and Lois Lane raised their young son Christian with care and lots of love. Christian was growing up rapidly, almost like a mushroom sprouting overnight. He had no idea that Superman was actually his father. His parents kept this secret to themselves, planning to reveal it only when he turned 18, so he would be old enough to understand the dangers of the truth if it ever came to light. From a young age, Christian was a bright child with a kind heart. Everyone affectionately called him Crisco. As time went by, Crisco entered school. He was an excellent student. The teachers liked him. But his classmates envied his good grades and made fun of him for being a nerd. Among his classmates, there were also many mean boys who terrorized the weaker ones and were constantly plotting some kind of mischief. At school, among children, words did not carry much weight. Everything was decided by strength, or rather, by those who were bigger and physically stronger. Crisco, being small and somewhat frail, was ignored and mocked when he tried to intervene. However, no one suspected that this was about to change, and that something extraordinary was looming on the horizon. His 10th birthday was approaching. Crisco felt sad because it was summer, and most of his friends weren't in town. Some were on seaside vacations with their parents, others visiting their grandparents. On his birthday, in Metropolis, none of his friends were around. His parents did everything they could to make him feel special and happy. They threw a party for him and invited many guests. The big surprise was that among the guests were his grandparents, whom Crisco loved very much. And when Crisco thought that this was the only surprise, he was even more surprised. He received a gift from his parents, a cute puppy. Crisco could not believe his eyes. He had long dreamed of having a furry friend, but his parents thought he was still too young to understand the responsibilities of caring for a pet. It was the best birthday gift he had ever received. Still, he had no one to boast to. His grandparents invited him to their mountain cabin, where it was cooler in summer, and there were many meadows to play with his puppy. Crisco was delighted, and the next day, he set off with his grandparents to the mountain retreat. The following 2 days flew by in the blink of an eye. Crisco spent every moment playing with his puppy, running across the meadows, exploring the forest, climbing the mountain slopes. The puppy was lively and playful, full of energy. On the 3rd day, they went for another hike in the mountains. The dog ran ahead, and as they climbed a hill, the puppy chased after a butterfly. The butterfly was mischievous too at one point. It landed on the puppy's nose before fluttering away again. Enthralled, the puppy didn't notice that the edge of a cliff was near. It kept chasing the butterfly and suddenly leapt off the edge into the abyss. At that moment, Crisco reached the top of the hill and saw the puppy tumbling down. He ran as fast as he could and reached the cliff's edge just in time. The puppy was falling rapidly. It seemed as if Crisco desperately wanted to follow and save it, but he knew that doing so would only lead to both of them dying. His heart ached to rescue his little friend. Just then, a miracle happened. A bright flash of light illuminated everything. In an instant, Crisco transformed. He soared over the cliff, catching the flying, whimpering puppy with incredible speed. He lifted it safely and rose above the precipice. Then, he descended back to the ground. For a moment, another flash of light appeared, and everything returned to normal. The boy Crisco and his dog, safe and sound. Crisco was utterly confused. He didn't understand what had just happened. He even pinched himself, thinking it might have been a dream. He was afraid that if he told anyone, they would think he was crazy, or worse, take away his puppy. A few days later, when he returned home, Crisco decided to tell his parents about what had happened at the mountain cabin. He knew well that secrets shouldn't be kept from parents. They are the ones who truly love him and, being adults, know what's best. So, he recounted everything in detail. His father and mother exchanged glances and remained silent for a long time. Crisco expected a reaction, but not this silence. Finally, his father broke the silence.
My boy, you are my heir, and it seems you've inherited some of my extraordinary abilities. Don't be afraid you're not crazy, and you weren't dreaming. Perhaps you have special powers like mine, or even greater. Whether you have these powers and what they are, we'll discover in time.
Crisco blinked, still puzzled by what his father meant. His father continued,
I never thought it would come to this. I never considered whether I wanted you to have superpowers or to be just an ordinary boy. Now we know it's possible you might be like me and have extraordinary abilities. I realized I had these powers after I turned 10 too. I've come a long way since then. Actually, son, I am Superman.
Crisco nearly fell off the sofa when he heard that. His eyes widened, and he exclaimed,
My dad is Superman! Superman! Wow! Are you joking?
His father replied,
Of course not. I'm serious. This isn't a joke. And don't call me that again so casually. You never know who might overhear. No one else should know that I am Superman. Do you understand? You must promise to keep my secret, just as I will keep yours. Yes, yours too, because if you've inherited my powers, you're Superboy.
Crisco's eyes widened even more.
What? You're Superman and I'm Superboy, I'm going to faint.
His father chuckled.
Don't faint. Crisco, you need to accept that you might really have abilities that others don't. If you develop them and learn to control them, you could do a lot of good, protect people from harm, fight villains, and do heroic deeds. Embrace this possibility with gratitude and take responsibility for it. Can you do that?
Yes, yes, yes.
I believe in you. You're a worthy son. Now look, your mother keeps glancing at her watch.
It's getting late, so let's get ready for bed. Tomorrow, after we finish our work, your dad will tell you more about what he can do and what he does.
Crisco couldn't sleep that night, he was so excited. The next morning, after a quick breakfast, he immediately went outside. He headed to a quiet meadow in the park, where few people ever went, and started jumping, running, and trying everything he could think of to transform into Superboy and fly. He only scraped his knees in the process, but nothing else happened. Exhausted and disappointed, he returned home. Finally, evening came and his father finished his work. They had dinner, and then his father told him his own story. It was the same story that began our first episode. Of course, he also explained what powers he possessed, sharing some of his adventures, stories Crisco had heard before, like legends about Superman in their city. Now he understood that some stories were exaggerated, and many others remained secret to this day. Crisco felt like he was under a spell. This all still seemed like a fairy tale. Days passed, and Crisco was very proud of his father. He admired him greatly and longed to become like him, performing heroic deeds. The end of episode.
Dear friends, please subscribe to our channel to encourage us to continue making more Superboy series. If you want, you can also suggest the Superboy stories that you would like to see. To do this, subscribe to the channel and write in the comment, I want to see my Superboy story too. In the comment, you can also tell your story briefly. We will choose one story for every 100 new subscribers to our channel. We will include the story in one of the next episodes and write whose idea the episode is based on. Now it's your turn!
Like and subscribe to watch more of our videos.